Catching a falling rocket booster is not a pilot skill moment. It is a control room moment. You already know why. The hardware moves fast. The winds shift fast. The booster drifts in inches. Inches matter here. If you miss by an inch, you hit steel. If you hit steel wrong, you lose the booster. SpaceX built Starbase Mission Control to stop that miss. It sits in Boca Chica, Texas. It runs the catch work during Starship flights. People joke about 2 engineers doing it alone. You saw the viral clips, 2 guys cheering at a console. It looked simple, but you were right to doubt that. No verified footage shows 2 people doing this alone. It is a team with screens, headsets, and automated systems. Starbase Mission Control looks like a small stadium inside a building. It has tiered seating. It can hold up to about 200 people. That number tells you the truth. This is not 2 guys with joysticks. This is a full operation. About 30 workstations sit in rows. Each station has 2 monitors. Each station has a keyboard. Each station has a headset. Control panels sit close by. These seats track things like engine power, flight computers, and live data. Front rows hold the key people. They make the final calls. Support teams sit behind them. That layout is not random. It matches how high-risk jobs run. The people who call go need focus. They need less noise. The teams behind them feed answers fast. During big events, more people watch from outside. They crowd behind glass doors. They do that because this is a big deal. A booster catch is a rare moment. It is loud in the mind, even indoors. The room also has a huge screen wall. It is an LED wall. Think of a giant TV made of panels. It measures about 30 feet wide. It stands tall. It shows live video feeds. It shows charts and numbers. It shows a path map for the booster. It shows health checks for the pad. It shows warnings when things drift. One wall replaces 100 printed pages, and it changes the speed of decisions. Here's the thing. The catch is not a last-second call. It starts long before the booster returns. The room runs thousands of checks. People track the vehicle and the pad. They watch engine power. They watch heat. They watch sensor health. They watch the tower arms too. The arms are the chopsticks on the tower. They are big steel arms. They move to catch the booster. The arms need to be ready. If they are not, you do not try. This is where it gets interesting. The catch is semi-autonomous. That means the system does a lot by itself. But humans still oversee it. Humans run polls. A poll is a quick round of asking if you are ready. Each console gives a yes or no. The flight director listens. Then the flight director confirms the plan. That is how you stop one weak link from ruining the whole chain. It is also how you keep speed. You do not have time for a meeting. You have seconds. Now lock onto the hard technical reason this was blocked for so long. A returning booster is not a calm object. It shakes, it flexes, it fights wind, it fights its own engine blast. The booster must hit a tight box in space. It must do it at the right height. It must do it at the right angle. It must do it with the right speed. If it comes in too fast, you crash. If it comes in too slow, you drop. A landing pad gives you room. A catch tower gives you less room. That constraint has ended many bold plans before. People have tried easy versions of this problem. They tried ocean splashdowns. They tried legs on boosters. They tried wide landing pads. Those work in some cases, but they still cost time and weight. Legs add weight. Weight cuts cargo. Cargo is what pays the bills. Wide pads take land and range work. Range work slows you down, and a splashdown can ruin hardware. That is a loss. SpaceX wanted the booster back fast. They wanted it ready for another flight, so they went for the tower catch. The breakthrough is not one trick. It is the whole loop. The booster must know where it is. The tower must know where the booster is. The arms must move to meet it. The system must correct in real time. That is why sensors matter. The data comes from radar sensors. Radar sends a signal and reads the bounce back. That helps track distance and speed. The system uses that to guide the arms. Humans still watch. Humans still decide to start. but the motions happen fast, so the automation carries the load. The control room does not just watch the catch, it also watches the stage separation. That is when the big booster pushes the ship away. SpaceX uses a method where one stage lights its engines before the stages fully separate. That saves time and helps push. It also adds risk. The flight director confirms choices like that. Those choices shape the whole return plan. If separation is off, the booster return can be off. The chain is tight. One step feeds the next. Now place this in time. You have seen the live streams. Flight 5 happened in October 2024. Clips show the room buzzing during big moments. You can see heads turned up to the big wall. You can see people in headsets. You can see hands on keyboards. And on success, you can see the room erupt. People cheer, they clap, they stand. That reaction is not acting. That reaction is release. It is the moment a long risk turns into a win. The live calls people quote matter too. You hear lines confirming the catch. Those words hit because they confirm control. They also confirm repeat potential. A catch is not just a stunt. It is a step toward fast reuse. Fast reuse is the core business lever. If you reuse the booster, you save time and cost. If you can do it often, you win the scoreboard. The myth of two engineers hides the real strength. The strength is a team. SpaceX has added hundreds of engineers at Starbase for rapid operations. Hundreds. That is not a small hobby shop. That is a serious base. It has mission directors. It has operators. It has people watching engines. It has people watching computers. It has people watching the pad. It has people watching the tower. If one console sees a drift, they speak up. If a console says no, the catch stops. The system respects that. Justice through consequences is built in. Wrong calls cost hardware. This is also a competence hierarchy. The best teams earn trust through clean results. Clean results means fewer last-second saves. It means fewer aborts. It means fewer close calls. Those teams rise. You can feel it in how people talk. You can feel it in how the room reacts. When a console calls go, it means something. It means that person has earned the right to say it. Here is a near-miss moment, and it happens in the mind first. The booster is coming back. The clock is running. The room is quiet. You are 30 seconds from the catch window. Then a pad health check flips yellow. Yellow is not red. Yellow is doubt. One engineer might want to argue it is noise. That urge is real. You want the win. But the system demands proof. The room runs the poll. The flight director asks for clarity. The team either clears it or stops the attempt. That is how serious work stays safe. You can also see the human side through the crowd. Overflow crowds watch outside glass doors. They are not on console, but they share the tension. They watch the big wall from the hall. They look for the same thing you look for at home. Did it hold? Did it drift? Did the arms move? Did the booster settle? That shared focus is a signal. People care because it is hard. People care because it changes the game. Now let's make the mechanism plain. The booster falls back from high speed. It uses engine power to slow down. That is like a car braking, but with fire. The booster also steers by pointing its engines. The engines can tilt. Tilting changes the push direction. That lets the booster slide left or right. It also lets it hold a steady line. The goal is to arrive near the tower with low speed. Low speed gives control. Low speed gives time for corrections. But low speed must still fight wind. Winds add a moving force. A force is just a push. Wind can push the booster offline. The booster senses that drift. It corrects. The tower senses where the booster is. The arms move to meet it. The system fuses data from radar and GPS. It uses a math trick called a Kalman filter to predict where the booster will be in the next split second. Thousands of criteria gate the catch. If the alignment fails after the boost back burn, they abort to the ocean, they splash it down in the Gulf. Success gets confirmed with a clear call. That is a full chain, from data to decision to result. You have felt this kind of win before. Not in space, but in work. When a hard job finally runs smooth, when the checklist goes green, when the tool does what it should, when the team calls it clean. That is what SpaceX is chasing at Starbase. They are turning a wild idea into a repeatable move. They are doing it with tight control, not luck. They are doing it with screens, sensors, and discipline. And when the arms close in that last 10 seconds, you can see the truth. Reuse is not a slogan, it is an economic weapon. If you can bring hardware back, you stop throwing it away. If you stop throwing it away, you save money. You also save time. Building a new booster takes months. Refilling a COT booster takes days. That speed difference is the gap. Competitors are still building disposable rockets. They launch once and drop the booster in the ocean, or they drop it in a field. SpaceX brings it home. That means SpaceX can launch more often. More launches feed more data. More data makes the software tougher. Tougher software makes the room leaner. That creates a flywheel. Other teams can copy parts of it, but copying needs the whole chain. Sensors, software, tests, and discipline. And now the final cluster of reveals. First, the two engineers' story misses shifts and support teams. Second, automation shrinks the live crew, not the total workforce. Third, the real lever is onboard computers running fast control loops. Fourth, Go poles keep humans in the loop for safety. Fifth, NASA's larger rooms match crewed risk and process. Sixth, SpaceX's smaller rooms match uncrewed rapid testing. Seventh, Starbase's 500-plus on-site workforce proves the operation is not tiny. Eighth, a job listing tied to the tower signals deep specialization. Each reveal builds on the last. Each one is bigger, and the myth fades under real numbers. You have felt the frustration of bad myths. They cheapen real work. They make it seem like luck. The truth is better. SpaceX does not win by having two people. They win by building systems that let people focus. They win by pushing effort into software and test. They win by running a tight room on the day. That is not luck. That is mastery. The story ends simple. Two engineers did not catch a booster. A whole system did. Teams built it, tested it, and ran it in shifts. Automation made the live crew smaller, not the job. But none of that matters without the engine upgrade. The engines on the booster are called Raptors. They are the muscle. Without them, the brain in the control room has nothing to drive. The Raptor engine is a beast. It burns methane and oxygen. It runs hot. It runs fast. And it has to restart in the air. Most engines are designed to light once on the ground. Lighting an engine while falling through the sky is different. The fuel sloshes around. The air rushes past. The pumps have to spin up instantly. If they fail, the booster hits the ground. SpaceX tested this hundreds of times. They blew up engines. They blew up boosters. They did it on purpose. That testing is what separates them from the rest. Other companies run simulations. They look at computer models for years. SpaceX builds the hardware and flies it. If it breaks, they fix it. If it flies, they fly it again. This is why the gap is widening. While others are drawing pictures of rockets, SpaceX is catching them. The Falcon 9 rocket has landed over 250 times. Think about that number, 250 times. No other orbital-class rocket has landed once and flown again. China has launched many rockets, but they drop the boosters. They crash them. They are years away from catching anything. The Long March rocket is their big player. It is a strong rocket, but it is disposable. It is old technology. By the time China or anyone else figures out how to land on legs, SpaceX will have mastered the catch. The catch removes the legs. It removes the weight. It makes the rocket lighter and cheaper. It allows for bigger payloads. That is the killer advantage. It is not just about looking cool. It is about math. If your rocket is lighter, you carry more satellites. If you carry more satellites, you make more money. If you make more money, you build more rockets. It is a cycle, and the control room manages that cycle. The control room also manages the timeline. In the old days, a launch campaign took months. NASA would check every switch by hand. They would hold meetings about meetings. SpaceX runs checks in software. The computer checks the switches. The computer runs the numbers. The humans only step in when something looks wrong. This cuts the time down. It allows for launches every few days, sometimes twice in one day. That pace is unheard of. It breaks the old rules. It scares the old guard. They say it is reckless. They say it is too fast. But the results say otherwise. The success rate is high. The landings are routine. The catch is the next step in that routine. This is where the future opens up. If you can catch the booster, you can catch the ship. If you can catch the ship, you can refuel it. If you can refuel it, you can go to Mars. That is the goal. Mars is not a dream anymore. It is a project. It has a schedule, it has a budget, and it has a team in Texas working on it every day. The control room is the nerve center for that project. Every data point from a catch helps the Mars mission. Every sensor reading teaches them something new. They are learning how to handle heat. They are learning how to handle wind. They are learning how to handle speed. The competition is stuck in the past. They are arguing about contracts. They are fighting over budgets. They are trying to build rockets that look like the ones from the 1970s. SpaceX is building the future. They are using steel. They are using methane. They are using towers to catch rockets. It is a different game. It is like comparing a flip phone to a smartphone. One makes calls. The other runs your life. The Starship system runs the future of space, and it is all controlled from that room in Boca Chica. Let's talk about the safety culture again, because people get this wrong. They think fast means dangerous. They think rapid means sloppy. But look at the offshore divert. That is a safety feature. If the booster is not perfect, it goes to the water. It does not come to the tower. It stays away from people. It stays away from the equipment. That is a hard rule. The computer enforces it. The humans enforce it. There is no cowboy behavior here. There is no gambling. It is calculated risk. It is engineering. The control room handles that risk with data. They have screens full of graphs. They see the health of every valve. They see the pressure in every tank. They know if a bolt is loose. They know if a sensor is glitching. They have the power to stop the clock. And they do. They have scrubbed launches because of a bad reading. They have delayed catches because of the wind. That shows discipline. It shows they value the hardware. It shows they value the mission. This system is built to last. It is not a one-off experiment. The tower is built of thick steel. The arms are heavy. The foundations are deep. This is infrastructure. It is like an airport. You do not build an airport for one plane. You build it for thousands of flights. Starbase is an airport for space. The control room is the tower. The catch is the landing. It is becoming normal. And normal is what you want. Normal means reliable. Normal means business. Think about the scale of what they are doing. The booster is as tall as a building. It weighs hundreds of tons. It is falling from space, and they catch it with chopsticks. It sounds insane, but when you break it down, it is just physics. It is force and motion. It is mass and acceleration. The computer solves the equations. The engines provide the force. The tower provides the support. The team provides the oversight. It works. The gap between SpaceX and the rest of the world is not closing. It is getting wider. Every time they catch a booster, they learn something the others do not know. They get data that you cannot buy. You have to earn it. You have to fly to get it. China can steal plans. They can copy shapes, but they cannot copy the data. They cannot copy the experience. They cannot copy the muscle memory of the team in that room. That is the moat. That is the wall, and it is high. So next time you see a clip of the catch, look past the fire, look past the smoke, look at the building in the background, look at the control room. That is where the magic happens. That is where the future is being written. It is not being written by two guys with joysticks. It is being written by a system of people, code, and steel, a system that works. And if this model holds, the next decade will look very different. The launch costs will drop, the flight rates will rise, the access to space will open up, you will see things you never thought possible, you will see factories in orbit, you will see bases on the moon, you will see humans on Mars. It starts with the catch, it starts with the reuse, it starts with the control room. The story ends simply. Two engineers did not catch a booster, a whole system did. Teams built it, tested it, and ran it in shifts. Automation made the live crew smaller, not the job. And if this model holds, the next decade will look very different. The sky is not the limit anymore, it is just the beginning, and the people in that room are holding the keys.